Congratulations for investing into your success. Your future self will thank you. So, since we're going to be spending about 2 hours with each other, I feel it's only right that I share with you something that I haven't shared with anyone else. My first year of college football, I was a walk on at Bowling Green State University, a preferred walk on. I had a very successful high school football career, which resulted in a few Division II scholarship offers. However, as many top high school athletes feel, it's Division One or nothing. So my coach had some connections with BGSU, and I got offered a walk-on opportunity. So me being as confident as I am today at 17 years old, I decided to bet on myself and accept the offer. However, not only did I accept that offer, I decided to go to BGSU in the summertime to train. And that's something that mainly athletes with scholarships did, but I knew I would have one soon. So 3 weeks after graduation, I attended summer orientation. And while on the campus tour with my fellow classmates, I observed my freshman teammates being guided around campus in their BGSU football gear by someone in the athletic department. Now, at the time, it didn't faze me, but looking back, it was very telling. So after checking into the summer dorms a couple of days later, freshman workouts had begun. And that's when I got introduced to the Body by Yates program. Now, Coach Yates was our strength and conditioning coach, and he was one of a kind. Our workouts had begun at 5 a.m. and it would last an hour and a half. So within that time, I became convinced his goal was to make us quit and go back home. And one day it proved to be true. Besides the daily banter of go home, it's too hard, ain't it? I bet your mom would love to see you home because her baby going through too much pain. One day someone came in late to workouts, and this someone was the only other walk-on that decided to come to summer camp. For the sake of this video, we'll call him Timmy, with Tim being his nickname. So Tim was a heavier set guy. He was from Texas and played defensive line. So though this was his second time being late, the coaches had a soft spot in their heart for him, mainly due to his size, which in football equals potential. So despite the nobody can be late or you're going home rule enforced by Coach Yates, Tim got to continue the workout. So as usual, Yates put us through a killer workout. So once we got into the final stage of our conditioning, our legs and body were worn out, so the only thing we had left was our mind power. Now, me being the person I am, realizing that I'm here for an opportunity to get a scholarship, I viewed every workout session as an audition to let some of my tangible and intangible skills be displayed. So as I did all throughout my football career, I made sure I gave 110% effort in every rep, every sprint, and I would be vocal cheering my teammates along, the ones that were crushing the workouts, and the ones that show obvious signs of struggle. So when Tim got to the final phase of his monstrous workout, we had what's called 400s. So that's when you run 100 yards 4 times, and that's one rep. So that day we had 6 400s to complete, and being last wasn't really an option unless you're, one of the top recruits that felt like taking some sprints off. In that case, the coaches would usually understand. But that wasn't the case for Tim and myself. We both understood that, at least I thought so. Now, on our 4th rep, Tim decided he had enough, and he decided to throw in the towel and not line up to begin the 4th 400. Scholarship or not, if there was one thing that drove Yates crazy, is when someone quit during a workout. Proof being a scholarship player quit during the workout, and Yates tried to get his whole scholarship taken away. So on our 6th and very last rep, when Tim didn't line up again, Yates told him to pack his bags and get ready to head home. So he wasn't kidding. The very next day, the coaches paid for him a plane ticket back to Texas, and that was the last I saw of Timmy. Now, weeks went by. I still was doing me, riding my bike at 4:30 a.m. across campus to the stadium, making sure I showed up early for workouts and displayed daily that I was willing to control my attitude and effort by being enthusiastic at workouts and also providing a, helping hand. So when I was told one day that my position coach for the linebackers wanted to meet with me, I was excited to say the least. His name was Coach Morrison, and unbeknown to me, he had been looking in on some of the workouts. Now, when he shared this with me, I was ready for him to share some words of motivation or inspiration, but that wasn't the case. Instead, he told me, and I'm paraphrasing here, all that cheering and encouraging people you're doing, cut that shit out. You're here to work out and compete for a scholarship. No one wanted you here, so why would they want to hear you cheering the other scholarship guys on? Know your place, start acting like the older walk-ons, and keep your head down and work. So him insinuating that just because I'm a walk-on, I didn't deserve to be myself instantly made me frustrated. My underarm started to sweating and I had an obvious grimace on my face. But he continued, if you play your cards right, you can be like Adrian, an older walk-on. He's been here 4 years and will most likely be receiving a full ride scholarship here in his 5th year, most likely. So at this point, guys, I almost started laughing. Though I was still upset, it lessened the blow when I realized this guy has no clue the caliber of person that I was and that I am. Now, at the time, I had just turned 18 years old a couple of weeks ago. I had no intention of staying in Bowling Green until I was 23, and definitely not without a scholarship. So I had my mind set on getting a scholarship within 2 football seasons, max. So for my position coach to already be so sure that I didn't deserve one until maybe the 5th year, that crushed my ego. He ended the conversation with, have a good weekend, and not wanting my emotions to get the best of me, I replied, thanks, you too. I got out of the meeting and I hopped on my bike feeling like Debo just took my chain. I was running out there crying. I had tears of anguish slowly pouring down my face, guys. I vented for several hours to my close family members, but after the talk with Coach Morrison, truthfully, I never was the same. Something changed in me that day. I began to second guess myself, but that's not what I told myself at the time. See, at the time, I had convinced myself that Coach Morrison was just another level of the mountain to reaching my goal of receiving a full ride scholarship to play Division I football on Saturday mornings. However, when I returned back to workouts, I stopped cheering my teammates on. I stopped being vocal. And even when I thought about speaking up, I would look over my shoulder to make sure Coach Morrison wasn't around. I was afraid that if I spoke up like I was doing, I would lose my preferred walk-on opportunity. Hindsight 2020, it's clear now that becoming a Division I scholarship football player meant more to me than continuing to grow in spirit as a young man. So what I do now, guys, is challenge you. Before you begin this course, ask yourself truly, are you really on the right path? Or are you just trying to satisfy your ego's idea of itself? So if I would have asked this question and answered it truthfully, I would have been able to invest my time and money somewhere else. Instead of 2 colleges in 2 years and a total of 2 semesters complete. But I had to pay for 5 of them. I had to pay for 5 semesters because I had went throughout the summertime, but I didn't complete my last few semesters and I had to drop out of some semesters. But either way, see, I had become so attached to my ego's idea of me being this superstar athlete that I figured I would do what I have to do to make sure I got my scholarship. That, the thing is, I missed the real opportunity. Guys, we display our true conscious level, right? Now, if I were really as confident as I perceived myself to be, then I would have continued to cheer my teammates on and be outspoken in workouts despite what Coach Morrison had to say. That was my chance to prove to myself and to the universe who I really am. But instead, all I proved was that I wasn't the star athlete my ego portrayed itself to be. Now, same goes to you. Get rid of the idea of you being a millionaire, a successful entrepreneur, or a tycoon, because that's your ego talking. See, guys, at 22 years of age right now, I'm sure there may be some areas of my life where my ego is really too much in control that I, right now may be blinded to the reality of my true intent. But I feel that now I'm more connected to my true self because over the past 2.5 years of my, real estate entrepreneurship journey full time for the past 2.5 years, I have been on a path of inner growth and fulfillment, pushing myself above and beyond my comfort zone, constantly destroying my ego's idea of itself, only to rebirth into something more profound. And that's the cycle of life, guys. Create, persist, destroy, be, do, have. At the moment we have what we want, we begin on a path on a self-destruction. That's only if we don't quickly find something else to create. The self-destruction is the time we spend celebrating our new creation instead of focusing on what's next. Now, here's what's next for you. The time has come for you to display to the universe and to yourself that you are a millionaire, you are a tycoon, you are a successful entrepreneur. And the way you do this is by putting your best foot forward to not only learn this material, but to consistently utilize this material to the best of your ability immediately after the completion of the course. Now let's jump right into it. Cold call to success. You will learn how to qualify your leads in 1 minute or less. Let's get it.